And this news just in: 4 people, among them a child, are feared dead after a saloon car which they were traveling in collided head-on with a trailer at Makindu along the Mombasa Road. The accident has caused a heavy traffic jam along Mombasa Road. We'll be giving you more updates on that story. And moving on, the High Court decision declaring that 1.5 billion shillings was lost in the payout to acquire Ruaraka land laid the blame squarely at the doorstep of the National Lands Commission. Despite pointing out that NLC was at fault, the decision was not adversarial or convicting anyone, neither ordering for the repossession of the money. But is the Ruaraka land scandal a lost cause? Sam Ogina looks at what's next.
The decision indicting NLC in the Ruaraka land scam did not issue any decrees on whether criminal culpability should be preferred upon officers at the commission. Ironically, NLC went to court to stop all criminal proceedings against its officers, seeking to determine whether the land where GSU, Driving Primary School and Ruaraka High School sit is public or private land and whether money was lost. At this time, EACC was hot on the heels, pursuing criminal culpability on officers at NLC and Education Ministry for loss of public funds. But with the decision out, will EACC revive the case and pursue criminal cases against the officers it had laid siege against in the controversial payout where government spent 1.5 billion shillings to buy its own land? The commission at the moment remains silent over the matter.
Despite the 6th interested party insisting on due diligence being followed, the applicant did not do this. Instead, the applicant misled the Ministry of Education into undertaking a compulsory acquisition exercise that was totally unnecessary and led to loss of public funds.
Reports by parliamentary committees recommending for further investigation of former NLC chairman Mohamed Swazuri, Vice Chairman Abigail Mbagaya, and other senior NLC officials. Only the Senate Public Investment Committee linked the then Education Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i and his then Principal Secretary Bello Kipsang to the scam, recommending they be further investigated in their role in the 1.5 billion shillings payout for the land and prosecuted if found culpable.
We therefore find that the compulsory acquisition of the land on which the 2 schools sit did not meet the threshold of public purpose and should not have been undertaken in the first place. One cannot purport to compulsorily acquire what is already public land.
At the time of the transaction, Swazuri was at the helm of NLC, the court's ruling that the commission erred in using compulsory acquisition to acquire the Ruaraka land, given that the claim was raised by businessman Francis MBURU, contrary to the rules and procedures of government initiating the process in a case where public benefit arises.
In this case, the applicant did not follow the elaborate steps stipulated by the Land Act. The applicant was moved by the first and second interested parties who lodged a claim for historical injustice on the ground that Ruaraka High School and Driving Primary School had been established on part of their land in the 80s and that they had not been paid any compensation.
Swazuri and other NLC officers are already in court over alleged corruption. The arrests linked to fraudulent compensation for land acquired by the Commission for the construction of the Mombasa South and Bypass and Kipe Avenue Highway Container Terminal Link Road. Sam Ogina, Citizen TV, Nairobi.